All right. Good morning, East Quag. One of the most famous theme songs of all time from Star Wars. Um, we've been watching some of the movies around here lately. I hope you guys are finding some time to watch some things that you enjoy. And talking about one of the things that hopefully you enjoy watching today, we are going to finish Topic 7, Lesson 2 in your Social Studies book. So please get your books and open up to page 288 here in your Social Studies book. Pretty crazy. April 20th, 2020. It's just amazing to think that this is our sixth Monday of distance learning. But, our governor said hopefully May 15th will be the time when we get back, and you just never know. Maybe that will happen, and it won't be too much longer before we're sitting in a classroom together again. So today we're going to start off where we left off from Friday, page 288. Who were the magistrates? The Romans elected a number of powerful magistrates. The power of these high officials made them almost like monarchs. A monarch, by the way, is a king or a queen. Magistrates were wealthy men. Their ancestors had usually held high offices. For men from elite families, politics was a key part of life. Politicians usually moved from lower offices to higher offices. This path was called the race of honors. It changed over time, but by the later years of the Republic, it followed a standard form. What were the lower offices? The race of honor started with the lowest office, the quaestor. Quaestors were accountants who kept track of the state's money. They also served as assistants to higher officials. If a citizen did well as a quaestor, he might seek election as the aedile. Aediles were in charge of holding festivals and maintaining public buildings. These lower offices were stepping stones to greater power. Tribunes of the plebes. Plebeians could run for the powerful office of tribune of the plebes before moving on to higher offices. Tribunes acted as the protectors of the plebeians. Sometimes they took radical or even revolutionary positions. Tribunes had the right to veto any law or the action of any magistrate. The veto gave the tribunes great power over all other parts of the government. It was also strictly forbidden to harm a tribune or stop him from doing his job. Praetors and consuls. After serving as an aedile or tribune, men could try to be elected as a praetor. Praetors judged cases, managed the city of Rome, and led armies in times of war. After serving as a praetor, a politician could be elected consul. The consuls were the top officials in the Roman Republic. Their most important job was to lead the army. They also presided over the Senate and assemblies and were the highest judges. Consuls and praetors had visible symbols that showed their authority. They wore special togas and sat on ivory chairs. They were followed around by bodyguards called lictors. The lictors carried the consuls or praetors' fasces, a symbol of power. Dictators. In the modern world, when we call someone a dictator, we usually mean that he is a cruel tyrant. But in ancient Rome, a dictator was an important public official. The Senate could vote to name a dictator in times of great emergency. Dictators held complete power, but only for a limited time. They served for a maximum of 6 months. A man named Cincinnatus was one famous dictator. Cincinnatus was working his farm when he heard that he had been chosen dictator. He quickly defeated Rome's enemies, resigned his office, and went back to his fields. He was thought of as a model citizen. We're going to stop here for a second. Cincinnatus. I actually wonder if Cincinnati in Ohio is named after Cincinnatus. But Cincinnatus, what a amazing thing he did here. here he is. He's off. He's working as a farmer. He's in his field, and the leaders of Rome come to him, offer him a dictatorship, which is ultimate power. He accepts it. He quickly defeats the enemy, and instead of holding on to that power like a lot of other people had done in different situations throughout history, he says, okay, I'm done. I've beaten our enemy. He turns it back over, and he goes back to working as a farmer. That's a pretty incredible man. Let's go up to the top here. You see a picture, and it says Lucius Quintius Cincinnatus. It says Cincinnatus was a historical figure who became a Roman legend for his devotion to his country. According to the tradition, in 468 BCE, the Roman Senate called on Cincinnatus to save a surrounded Roman army. He left his plow standing in the field, said goodbye to his wife, and went to war. He defeated the enemy in one day, legend says, and held power only as long as the emergency lasted, then returned to his farm. George Washington's contemporaries thought of him as an American Cincinnatus. He left retirement to lead the Continental Army. In 1783, with the war won, he returned to his farm. To Romans and Americans, the story of Cincinnatus demonstrated an ideal of Republican patriotism. All right, let's go to page 290. How did the Romans set an example? The Roman Republic was the most successful and long-lasting republic until modern times. The writers of the American Constitution knew a great deal about Roman history and government. They followed the Roman example in many areas. For instance, like Roman citizens, American citizens have the right to vote and stand for office. The United States government has 3 branches with separate powers, like the Roman Republic had. Checks and balances limit the power of each branch. The rule of law applies equally to every American, as it did to every Roman citizen. Like tribunes of the plebes, presidents have the power to veto laws. The United States has a Senate, as ancient Rome did. Still, many parts of American government are different. As you read, the Roman Republic did not have a written constitution, while the United States does. Ancient Rome also practiced forms of direct democracy. In contrast, the United States practices representative democracy. Roman citizens voted directly on laws. In the United States, laws are usually passed by representatives elected by the citizens. In the United States today, women participate equally in the government. In ancient Rome, women did not have a role in politics. While slavery has been illegal in the United States since the 1860s, many people in ancient Rome were slaves who had no political rights. All right, boys and girls, that was 9 minutes today. Hopefully gives you time to do some of your other classwork, and I will be seeing you soon. Take care.